Most people think emotional maturity automatically grows with age, but you can be 45 on the outside and still throw tantrums like you're 5 on the inside. Emotional growth doesn't come with candles on a birthday cake. It's earned. And today, we're breaking down the real test of emotional maturity, the kind that exposes hidden patterns most people never see coming. Imagine this. Someone you deeply care about disappoints you. Maybe they let you down, ignore your needs, or leave you hanging, unsure of where you stand. What's your first reaction? Do you shut down? Lash out? Or pretend you don't care when, let's be honest, you definitely do? These reactions say everything about your emotional age. And this isn't just a theory. It's a spotlight into the parts of ourselves we usually avoid looking at. The way we handle emotional letdowns reveals whether we're stuck in old patterns or finally speaking the language of emotional adulthood. Today, we're diving into 3 painfully common responses and how to spot whether you're operating from a place of emotional resilience or emotional fragility. Stick around because this isn't just about awareness. It's about leveling up, learning how to respond with clarity, strength, and vulnerability, instead of slipping into behaviors that sabotage connection. The emotional maturity test. When someone lets you down, how do you respond? Here are the 3 red flags of emotional immaturity to watch for. The sulker. Silent, seething, hoping someone will magically just know what's wrong without you ever explaining it. Sulking is like pressing mute on your emotions and expecting people to hear the message anyway. It's rooted in pride and fear. The fear of being too fragile to admit you're hurt. But expecting people to read your mind doesn't make you mysterious. It makes you misunderstood. And no one wins that game. The volcano. Ever erupted over something small, only to realize later it wasn't about that at all? Anger feels powerful in the moment, but underneath it, it's often panic dressed up in armor. When we lash out, it's not strength, it's survival mode. And no one who's genuinely secure needs to roar to prove it. The iceberg. Then there's the freeze out. Acting like nothing happened when inside, it's all happening. Going cold can feel like self-protection, but really, it's self-abandonment. Instead of facing the risk of vulnerability, the walls go up. But numbing out isn't strength. It's fear in disguise. The signs of emotional maturity. If those reactions sound a little too familiar, don't panic. Emotional maturity isn't a personality trait, it's a skill set, and it can be learned. So what does emotional adulthood actually look like? 3 traits separate the emotionally resilient from the emotionally reactive. The ability to explain. Mature people don't expect others to be mind readers. They name what hurts, calmly, clearly, and without shame. They trust their emotions enough to put them into words, instead of hiding them behind silence or explosions. It's not a weakness, it's emotional fluency. The ability to stay calm. Ever noticed how confident people don't need to yell? They know their worth, which means they don't panic the second something feels shaky. Emotional adults know they can always speak up later, so they don't rush to defend themselves with drama. The ability to be vulnerable. This is the big one. Emotional maturity means being brave enough to say what hurt you. It means choosing connection over control. Instead of pretending not to care, mature people risk being seen, even when it's uncomfortable. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's proof of inner strength. The hard truth about growing up emotionally. Not everyone grew up with the tools to handle emotions this way. For some, emotional fluency was taught early, like learning a language as a kid. But for others, it's like trying to learn a new language as an adult, awkward, frustrating, and full of missteps. And that's okay. Growth isn't about getting it perfect. It's about showing up again and again until the language of emotional adulthood feels natural. So whether you're starting from scratch or just fine-tuning your skills, know this: emotional maturity is always learnable. And the payoff? Deeper relationships, clearer communication, and the kind of inner peace that doesn't flinch when life gets messy. The real question isn't how old are you? It's how grown are you? Emotional maturity isn't a milestone, it's a muscle. And the more you flex it, the stronger it gets. If this resonated, make today the day you test your emotional reflexes and start replacing reactions with responses that actually serve you. Be sure to subscribe, and if you want to become emotionally mature so you can live a more harmonious life, then watch our video that shows you how healthy people regulate their emotions.